Hello, everyone. Oh, it's in French. Welcome to Let's Play Pharaoh. It's not gonna stay in French. Hopefully I can just change the settings, which is what usually happens. Yes, I'm French, what of it? It tends to install in English by default. There you go. English. That's what we like to see on this channel. I built my audience in English, what can I say? I don't know, I usually am in English. Anyway, Pharaoh, a new era. What is that? That is a remastering of an old city builder game. It's... how do I say this? The original didn't age super well, so it's a good idea to remaster it, especially since there is, as far as I understand it, a decent amount of people that have quite a bit of nostalgia for the original. I don't have the nostalgia goggles. I played the original I checked actually yesterday, for around 80 hours, but I played in like 2020, I think. Somewhere along those lines. Pretty recently. I gave it a try recently. And I loved it for like 80 hours, and then I couldn't stand to play it anymore. There's a few things that just did not age super well. Anyway, this is not the old game, this is a remastering, so hopefully all of the things are fixed. We'll see. I did hear that they had lost all the code. It's not even the same people that have made this that made the original. And they didn't have the code, so they built it from scratch. So it's possible that some things have changed more than you usually see with remasterings. Usually remasterings, they try to up the graphics and then maybe fix the controls a little, make them more up to date. Who knows? Anyway, I'll be playing this. The plan is to make one video per mission. You go through missions like, okay, go build this city. That's a mission. And then go build that other city, etc. You move on from city to city, always building from scratch. I don't know, well, eventually they tried something else, but not in Pharaoh. Anyway, let's just, without further ado, let's go build a village. This is gonna be the first mission. Oh, I have to create a family. Let's call it, like, my channel. Avatar. I'm gonna take this one, because my avatar in YouTube has blonde hair. And that's, like, the most reminiscent of it, I guess. Alright, proceed. Yeah, campaign. Let's go. Family begins the pre-dynastic period, leading a small band of nomads through their discovery of the arts of civilization. Tutorial, aka, you know. Leadership helps set Egypt. Yeah, we're Nubt. Village is born. We need 6 meager shanties. I mean, this I believe is like the original. We'll see. Look at the world map to see what the others... Yes, I always do that. This is a hint that is not relevant for the first mission, but it is a very important hint. Usually, most of the maps, your economy is based on trade, and you should really look at what people want to buy before you decide what economies you're gonna build. Because if you build something that no one wants to buy, yeah, good luck.
Welcome to ancient
oh wow,
Egypt's
there's a
land
narrator.
of the pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations.
Ooh, woo.
You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond. Our story begins more than 5,000 years ago, along the banks of the Nile River in an area known as Nubt. Here, a small confederacy of clans struggles to eke out an existence in the harsh environment. With you at its head, your family leads this small settlement.
That's right. The simple family. Alright. We need to have meager shanties. We're gonna explain what shanties are. Well, the game probably wants to do it, but if there's no narrator narrating the actual instructions, I'll let you read it if you want to pause and read it, but otherwise I'll probably just like read it myself in case something changed, and then just give you a rundown of it afterwards. But yeah, we need the meager shanties, and don't overspend too much, which shouldn't be a problem much. First things first! Alright, hold on, okay, well, it's not... The tutorial isn't exactly the same as before, but... Build areas of housing and you'll soon see people moving in. Yep. Right click. Is it paused? I think it's paused. What is... Hold on. I think you're an idiot. Key binding. Why is W and A not working? Only S is working. What is going on? Oh, the rest of them are working now. Weird. Also, it's not paused. Now it's paused. The ostriches were moving. You're not allowed to move if it's paused. Alright, well, let's, build houses. I don't want to build them there, game. Oh, fine. Alright, so those are houses. Once you got houses... Oh, the houses... No, okay, never mind. Once you got houses, you... gonna have people moving in. Alright, the tutorial sucks. I'm just gonna throw that out there. The tutorial sucks. I don't like this, but you know what? Let the game go. So we should see some people move in. Oh, there they are. Look at that. We made houses, so people are gonna move in. Now, they're not gonna look like houses. They're gonna look like refugee tents or something. But yeah. Honestly, I would have... You know what? It's fine. Let the tutorial do its thing. Tutorial sucks. That layout is not great. That layout has a few issues. Remove! Repair your mistakes. It does cost money to repair my mistakes, though. Oh yeah, Shantytown, let's go! I'm surprised it didn't ask for a road in the middle, but oh well. Current date. Okay. Okay, that's the number of inhabitants. The rest of them are coming, so our objective's gonna be complete soon. This is a very hands-on tutorial. Oh. Access to water! People want to drink, don't you know? Yeah, I guess I don't have to really edit anything. In the original, they would have this very long presentation on what you're doing. Maybe that's going to come later. I don't know exactly. But yeah, right now I don't need to like edit or like give you a rundown. It's just, yeah, just water. I never use water, but I mean wells. Usually it's the water supply that I use, but I'm not allowed to make one, so... Here we go. Bam! You see how they all changed? That's because they all got access to water. Basic water. Which means the houses got better, which means more people can go in, and so look at that, more people coming in. Another reason, one reason I always use water supply anyway is, instead of a well, is that the water quality for the water supply is better than this, and there's a point in the house evolutions where you need to have a water supply anyway. So trying to design your housing blocks in a way that allows them to have a well is a waste of time because you always need the water supply and the water supply just does all the job. This is like a waste of time. Unless, you know, you want to make your industrial slum, you know, a little more livable, then you add a well in there. It doesn't take much space. So, you know, it's very doable. Right click to go back to the category selection and right click again to quit the construction mode. Oh, it was mad at me for talking and not paying attention, I guess. Right, people also want to eat. So we're allowed to hunt on this map. Each map will give you access to different resources, and you basically, another thing you should look at, not just who's on the map to see who's trading, but also you should also look at what can you actually make, you know? Sometimes you'll be allowed to hunt, sometimes you're not, sometimes you're gonna have farms of this, and sometimes you're gonna have farms of that other thing. Sometimes both, who knows? Sometimes all of these things. It's very rare that you're gonna have access to absolutely every building. It's part of the challenge of any given map that, well, who knows? Maybe, what was I gonna say? I lost my thought. I don't know how I managed to lose my thought. On any given map, you always have to figure out, okay, what are the tools at your disposal and how do I get the thing done from those tools, right? If you always had access to everything, you'd mostly just always be doing the same thing. Anyway, hunting. We can hunt on this one. So, food and farming. It's hunting lodges. Sure. Right, you need workers. This I'm going to explain. I think I saw it indicate where it was gonna... That's interesting. I don't think you can move the little green marker. I think it's just trying to help you... Oh, that's interesting. So every building... This is new from this, and this is just a visual help. It's very interesting. So every building, there's going to be a place where people get out of the building from and in. And usually it's intakes and outtakes of resources, right? So if you're carrying something to your building, to the building, like if this was, I don't know, this is just hunting. So they mostly, the hunter comes out, so it's going to come out of the green arrow, goes to shoot an ostrich, brings the food back to the red square to process it, and then out the green to the granary that we're about to build, I think. Anyway. Yeah, oh, I forgot to explain all of what it was trying to explain with the workers. We got hunters, so now they're gonna try to trade food and then store the food in a granary. But yeah, so it's important to place them carefully. Well, your layout, your city layout sucks, but tutorials be a thing. I'm gonna explain the workers with this. It can store food. That's about it. You're gonna put it here? Alright. So... yeah, I think... the hunters will deposit the food in the red square and the marketplace will come buy the food from the green square. Stuff like that. I don't know. Those markers are a little weird. Something I wanted to mention too is these guys.
I'm the most popular person in the city. A lot of people need jobs.
Good for you. Those two just came out of the Hunter's Lodge. They're looking for employees. They have to walk by houses to find employees, and because they walked by houses, they found employees, they found workers. Cannot collapse? That's good to know. We'll get into that later, I'm sure. But yeah, so you always have to have, when you have a building here, I could not just build mines in the bottom here because the walker that comes out of the mines to find workers would never walk all the way to my houses. I would have to build housing nearby, which is... Earlier I mentioned industrial slums. I try to avoid industrial slums. I try to treat every person in my city as well as possible, but sometimes industrial slums are still necessary when you're colonizing a small island, for example, for resources. And yeah. So it's important to note too, okay, they're talking about bazaar, I'll explain the bazaar, whatever. It's important to note that I was talking about industrial slums. Let's just say we have mines here. There's nothing to mine because that's sand, that's not rocks. But let's just say those were rocks and I had mines here. I could have just one house here. The dude that looks for workers would walk by that house. It would have access to all of the workers of all the city. As long as this dude walks by a single house with a single person in it. Sure. I'm not sure if there needs to be a person. It can't be an empty housing spot, but anyway. As long as it walks by one house, it has access to the entire pool of workers. Alright, wait. It wanted me to build a bazaar! Oh, hey, they're going to explain the arrows. Shows where the building will spawn its walkers and where it will take deliveries of food. The red arrow shows the point of return for distributors coming out of the building. Sometimes both points are in the same tile. The point might change when you build new roads. Those are indicators of unused. I'm actually reading those. Okay. So I was a little wrong in my interpretation, because I thought that the deliveries of goods would come in the red. To me, it feels like the green arrow is pointing out of the building and the red arrow pointing into, like in and outs, but I guess that's not exactly the thing. Anyway, that sounds very unimportant, but once you get like really deep in the game and you really want to optimize everything, there's some crazy shit you can do with that. I remember looking up stuff about the old game. I remember, not something I would ever do, but I remember seeing somebody put out a pattern where you only need, because you need to provide services to your houses to make them grow, and you only needed one set of services for an infinity number of houses, as long as you had space, obviously, because of a way to abuse the walker mechanic. But like, we're getting real deep if we're going there. We don't need to worry about those markers for the most part, especially right now. Ambulomancy! Now that's the big problem in this game. It really is. So there's a walker. There's walkers. There's a reason I was complaining about our current road network. It sucks. There's intersections. It's ridiculous. So what they're explaining is, well, there's two different types of walkers, not workers. Walkers. There's some. Oh, I maybe should have paused. I'll get to that too then while we're at it. There's two different types of walkers, alright? This is a random walker in that it just goes out and then it goes to a random spot. Don't know where they're gonna end up, they decide on each intersection. Then there's walkers that have destinations. This bazaar eventually will spawn somebody to go buy food out of the granary, so that it can have food, right? That's a destination. It will always go exactly there and then back. It can go really far too if you know, you build your city weird. But yeah, that's a destination worker. So it will never, those walkers will never get lost. But you know, it buys the food and then there's a random walker that spawns. That random walker walks around and provides food to every house that gets near it. But then it can go get lost around here, and then all these houses don't get food, and that's annoying. So that's what the game was trying to tell you. A large part of the game is about controlling your workers, trying to make sure that they walk by all your random walkers, trying to make sure they walk by all of the places they need to walk by. Also trying to provide efficient routes for the destination walkers, because sometimes they have to cross a large stretch, and if they have to zigzag a ton on the way there, it makes them and their building way less efficient at doing their job. So that can cause problems. Anyway, roadblock. I would have just destroyed the roads, but you know what? This works too. To make sure it stays, we need the buildings to not burn, nor, you know, fall apart. Right, so this is something you should do all the time. It's something I noticed here. You don't need an architect for the hunting lodge. You do need one for the rest, though. This can collapse. Cannot collapse? What do you mean cannot collapse? Houses can collapse, usually. Maybe you need higher quality houses for the collapsing to be a thing. Alright, where do you want the architect's post? Is it not going to tell me? I get to choose. That's cute. It's actually not a good place for it, but don't worry about it. Access to clean water. This is something I touched on. It's the water supply. Water supply is better. I can put it here, it's fine. I'm gonna spend more because I want to. I'm just gonna make sure that the food services over here don't burn down or, you know, fall apart. Alright, see, it's got workers. It should send the lady to go buy... well, see, this is a random worker distributing the water from the water supply. We can watch them hunt if we want, that's what we're hearing. This person is coming over, I believe, to buy food from the granary? Maybe? No, it's not. Might be an architect, actually. Ah, there's the lady! I remember you, lady.
Bazaar needs some items, and I'm going to get them.
Yes, you do. So she saw there's food here, so she came here to get the food, and now there's a bunch of children carrying food to the bazaar. And once she gets there, this is destination. She went to her destination, back to there. And then bazaar's gonna spawn a... yeah, random walker, which will distribute the
My
food.
supplies sold like hotcakes. I'm going back to the bazaar.
Well, she only had food for these. And then she was all ready. We can make more hunter, because why not? So I don't like this layout, but you know, tutorial wanted us to do that, so let's do that, I suppose.
Well
We're
done.
here!
By filling your people's bellies with nourishing food and protecting their homes from fire and collapse, you have helped this fledgling civilization take its first step on the long road of history.
The bar is so goddamn low. Eat food! Drink water! Don't burn! That's how you win. Hell yeah. Alright, so keep governing the city if you feel like it, or next mission. Or I just end the video here. I hope you're gonna enjoy this. I hope I'm going to enjoy this. I'd never finished the original game because I couldn't stand to play it anymore. Hopefully the issues have been fixed. My issues have been fixed with this version, and we get through the whole thing. It is a very fun game. I'm looking forward to seeing what they did with the military. I don't expect them to redesign it. It should be redesigned. I don't think it's going to be redesigned, but at least hopefully it's going to have like functional controls that are not really annoying to use. I mean, we'll see. It's in a few missions. There's going to be military, spoiler alert. You do have to have troops. There were war back in the time. Anyway, gonna end the video here, and then next time we're gonna see for mission number 2, which I don't remember the name of. What happens if I click next mission? Okay, perfect. Next time we're gonna see about Finis. I'm gonna click on it, and then we're gonna have a narrator give us a situation. I don't know what's gonna be happening. We're gonna see about that next time. Later.